Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
Welcome, Ahmed, and everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get sleep and why sleep is so important for our health. And I know for me, if I don't get good sleep, I'm very groggy, and my day doesn't go very well. So I love to tap into, the health benefits of getting good sleep and the not so good things that happen when we don't get a good night's sleep. So let's talk about it, Ahmed, about sleep and its success.
Let me put it in like just a short story. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of a very famous person by the name of Ariana Huffington.
Yeah.
Right? She has a very important story in her life, which she was always working, very much stressed, didn't sleep much, to the point that I think she had some form of paralysis. And that's because the body didn't get enough time, or let's say the body didn't rest at the appropriate time. So today she is a sleep advocate. She encourages people to sleep more, get sufficient sleep, and she's more successful than ever.
That's how important sleep is, and it truly does aid in our performance for sure. I know when I didn't get much sleep, I was, very emotional. Like I truly was, like every little thing would bother me because the body couldn't process the information normally. So, and there's a lot of things that go into getting a good, quality sleep. Sometimes we can be laying in bed for such, 8 hours, 9 hours, but it doesn't mean we got good sleep. So
Yes.
let's talk about it.
I remember Dr. Jolie was also describing about, the importance of sleep, especially, let's say, for people who had terminal illness, such as cancer. He said the number one thing that terminally ill patients require more than anybody else are two things. He said to be hydrated enough and to have enough sleep. Because, sleep is not just you go to bed. It's a time that you disconnect and allow the body to heal itself. If the body is ill, if the body needs certain repair, sleep is the way to do it. A good nutrition, of course, but sleep is a must. You cannot heal, you cannot repair, your muscles cannot grow if you don't sleep. You find a lot of people, they go to the gym, as an example, they want to increase the muscle mass, but their sleeping habits are very bad. And guess what? They don't grow. They don't grow. There's too much stress over the body without them realizing. Just the story of Ariana Huffington. She reversed her paralysis problem by getting sufficient sleep.
But I was going to say, it's a common thing that we know, I mean, as a mom, I know I used to read about it. How many hours does a baby need to sleep? Right. And it's like 16 to 20 hours that when they're first born, they must sleep. If they don't sleep those hours, right, it can make them colicky and like all these other side effects that go along with it. If, babies don't get enough sleep. And we think that, yes, we get older, we don't need as much, but we still need it to make our body, detox our body. I mean, there's so many things that sleep does that helps us to function better and see the doctor less. Right?
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people, especially in today's day and age, they want to go to bed. But as you said, their eyes don't shut. They keep it wide open. And the question arises, why is it? Okay. Stress can be a factor. But another thing is we're consuming a lot of caffeinated drinks throughout the day. We need to limit that as well. Now it's fine. Let's say if you want to have your cup of coffee in the morning, but don't have it after dinner time. Because
That's what I do. I have my little espresso after dinner. I promise you. I have to think about that.
So if you want to have something like a hot drink in the evening time, you can opt for chamomile instead. That will help you to, prepare you to ease down for the evening. You don't need things to stimulate your brain. You need things to relax the brain in the evening time. Go and have an apple, have dark chocolate, for an example, things that are rich in magnesium.
Get off
Magnesium,
the phone.
yeah,
Stay away from technology. They say, and it's actually research proven that it's best to put down the phone 2 hours at least before sleeping. And I will tell you, one time I saw, I don't know if it was a Facebook post or something on TV, whatever. It was like they made a miniature bed-like product that you put the phone to sleep visually, and you put yourself to sleep by just putting the phone down on this man-made, toy that looked like, and they have it. If you go to Amazon, they probably have, a phone bed. I think it's called a phone bed that you want to put that phone down. But oh, seriously, if you're watching what's on Facebook right before you go to bed, it's so bad for us, right?
absolutely. Scrolling and having the blue light or the rays from the screen hitting your eyes. Remember, your eyes are also part of the brain. Now, when the sun goes down, that is the time where your body's, because your body gets also stimulated depending on the photo period as nature has it. We have daylight, then we have the moon coming up. So we need to dim as much as possible, right? So there are people that if they're going to be working a little bit longer in the evening, you find some of them, they're wearing these anti-glare guards, or they have this just to protect their eyes from the blue rays, because it does affect your sleep patterns. Now, apart from that, you also have to make sure that when you want to go to bed, for God's sakes, put your phone on flight mode. And if you're the reason is we have so much radiation within our homes. We got Wi-Fi, you have your cellular device that is continuously sending and receiving electromagnetic signals. You don't want that thing to be next to you on your night table.
Or in your bed, because a lot of people.
Or in your bed.
If
you're gonna have it at your night table, make sure you place it on flight mode, just so there's no electronic interactions. I'm talking radiation-wise. And if you're gonna charge it somewhere a little bit further from where you're sleeping. These things can disturb. I still remember there was a night I couldn't go to bed, and I had sort of like a slight migraine, that it was something that was starting to stir up. I couldn't know what it is, and it's like this tiny noise that just keeps buzzing in my ear. I didn't know what it was. So I went to the living room. Now, mind you, we have a 5G Wi-Fi router in the living room, and then we have those repeater Wi-Fis throughout the house.
Yeah.
And as soon as I switched each one of those off in the evening, my headache completely went away. And I managed to just slip into my sleep.
Wow. And you don't think we're not even thinking in those terms that something like that affects us internally, because it literally gave you the headaches and everything else, right?
Yes.
And most people would have just said, let me go to sleep, forget about it. But you got up, and you're like, what? Right? So it's just so important.
Technology is great. It provided us, made our life much easier. Everything has become, it's all about efficiency today. But if you go back 20 years ago, or let's say 30 years ago, when Wi-Fi router was never there, how good of a sleep we used to have. The
Yes.
only difference is that it's difficult for a person today to try to find that correlation between a good sleep and having all these devices. You know, the reason is because it's invisible. You know, it's not like a flick of a light switch that's bothering your eyes. But that doesn't mean that it's not affecting you.
But I will say though, if you're looking for ways to get better sleep, you will be, informed about this as well, right? If you're really looking, again, intentionally saying, you know what, how can I get a good night's sleep? What do I need to do? Because my sleeping, you acknowledge that your sleeping pattern is not good and you're not getting enough and you're feeling restless in the morning. And so, we're bringing this information because some people don't even make that correlation that, maybe it could be something in the home that's creating. I know for me, I love silence. So I can hear, I can wake up and if I hear noise, my eyes are open. Because I'm a very light sleeper. But there's people that can sleep through thunder and lightning and everything else. And but let's talk about what your body does when you're sleeping.
Okay. So what happens is that if you want to sleep, you have to make sure that there is around 3 to 4 hours of where your brain releases melatonin. Wherever you are geographically, as per nature. If you want to go to bed by 9 or 10 maximum, between 11 to 2, your brain will start to release melatonin. Now, melatonin helps your body to detoxify and it helps it to heal at the same time. Now, you will start to accumulate melatonin as well throughout the night if you sleep during those times. Why do I say 10 maximum? Because by the time to gain the most benefit between 11 to 12, you require at least an hour before you get into the deep sleep mode. And if you catch that wind span between 11 to 2 during your deep sleep, you have made it very successful for yourself to repair and replenish your cells for the next day. Not only that, but your body also starts to accumulate melatonin. So one relationship between melatonin and serotonin, which is very important, is that when you wake up the next day, and if you do have sufficient melatonin throughout your body and you get exposed to the sun, that melatonin gets converted to serotonin. Now, it's not the only place where you get serotonin from. Your gut produces serotonin as well through the microbiome as well. But if you want to have a happier and more lively feeling throughout your day, then you need to sleep on time.
It gets you energized, right? It gets you energized for the day.
It does. You'll have more energy. Your mood will be great. And it's always better to be an early bird than a night owl. I'll repeat this again. It's always better to be an early bird than a night owl. An ounce of prevention is worth more than a mountain of gold.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I know that when this is all part of self-care. When we really see, how can we feel better? What are the things that we can do? Is definitely understanding the importance of sleep. And I remember this is after I left corporate America and Google was really big. I remember they used to, maybe they still do. I had my neighbor who worked for Google. They take naps. Like when they were, when it was just in the office and it wasn't, working from home, they used to allow their employees to take a 15, 20-minute nap because research showed that it was more, they became more effective in their work. So, but there's also, which my daughter sent me a TikTok not too long ago, to show that if your nap exceeds a certain amount of minutes, it will actually break your sleep cycle, or you become groggy because you went into this, time period that it was too long and the body thought it was nighttime.
Yeah.
Right?
It's, Dr. Jolie always mentioned, like, it's very important to have your afternoon naps, especially after your lunchtime, and
I love those naps.
they're the best.
Yeah.
You've done your work for the first half of the day.
Yeah.
You grab your meal once you have it. Already, when the digestive process starts to happen, you're going to feel sleepy. So naturally, you're supposed to rest. But what do?
We go drink coffee.
We go drink coffee
to stay awake.
to stay awake. So what happens is, instead of the body relaxing, you're putting more stress on the body. Now, why the afternoon sleep is very important is because it promotes longevity. You can preserve your youthfulness by having an extra hour of sleep during afternoon, right after lunch. All the ancient Mediterraneans used to do this. They used to wake up in the morning, have breakfast like a champion, head out, do their work, come back home, have lunch, take some rest. Then they used to go for another shift at work. That was considered the norm.
Yes.
But in the fast-paced moving life that we have today, I think coffee was introduced as a coffee break in order to increase productivity.
And it does the opposite.
Yeah. The question is, productivity to benefit who? It's mostly your employer, not yourself.
Not your body, right?
Not your body.
But I think people are getting smarter and wiser. I really do, because the internet is, there's good and bad, right? And if what you're searching for, what are you searching for? What do you want to learn? And the information's out there for you to, take action, right? It's not just there for us to intellectually know, because it doesn't do anything by just knowing. When you step into really making changes for your health, and this is one of them, you will reap the benefit from it.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing, which I'm sure at this point everybody's going to love, that if you sleep in the right times when you're supposed to sleep, and you do take that afternoon nap, it will also help you maintain a healthier weight. You will be craving less sugar. People that stay up all night, they're usually binging on comfort foods throughout the day. It's because the body's under stress. But when the body's more relaxed, everything falls into place. Everything is balanced, including your hormones.
I was gonna say, even physically and emotionally, there's a benefit from sleeping. Because I know when I get a good night's sleep, I'm ready to rock and roll in the morning. And if I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm not the happiest person. So, but again, we have control over that. We can make decisions on, when to shut off the electronics, shut off eating. I was watching this podcast, and this guy said, it was an expert doctor talking about, having good health and maintaining weight. And he said, after you eat 8:00, that's it. Don't pick up anything else.
Nothing.
Don't pick up anything. Drink some water, whatever, but do not go in the kitchen for no reason at all. And, all of this that we're talking about is really helping us understand, how we function, and then implement some changes. And the big part is the sleep, because if you get enough sleep, you're able to process information throughout the day. I mean, I don't know how my kids did it. They used to go to sleep 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and get up at 6 o'clock for school and go to school and try to function. And God bless them, because I know I couldn't do it. I would cry at a simple thing because I didn't have enough sleep in me. But, I don't know if the kids are still doing it today, but I will tell you something. It definitely becomes an emotional, it really impacts you emotionally when your body doesn't have enough sleep.
As Bob always said, he said, when you look at the animal kingdom, everybody's in harmony with nature. Everybody's in harmony with their environment, but we're not. This is why we should follow nature's rule. Nature
So,
provides.
yeah. So let's talk about, and in regards to nature, what just came to mind is daylight saving time. Right.
Yes.
So where, my understanding now, it's something I just found out. My daughter's boyfriend said, they statistically, it's shown that when daylight saving times happens, there's an increase in heart disease because we're losing that 1 hour sleep. Like the body's feeling it, does feel it. I know I do too. Like I can't wait for, what is it, spring ahead, fall behind. So I'm really sad when that hour is taken away from me. And then I get really happy when I get that hour back, But yeah, let's talk about the effects of that because I think the body does know when that's happening.
Well, what happens is that your body is on a pattern. Every day it knows that, okay, I go to the bed at this time. I have this many hours of sleep. There's a biological timing within yourself. So suddenly, overnight, it can cause a shock. Especially now, here's the other part that I want to bring up: the alarm clock.
Oh,
I'm not a fan of an alarm clock. I always wake up right at the time that I need to, without having an alarm clock next to me.
But wait a minute, you do have kids, so do they wake you up?
We wake them up.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I thought maybe they were your alarm clock.
No, it's just that, when you're in a deep sleep and the alarm keeps buzzing and beeping, and you're hearing that every morning. And now you've had the regular pattern. Now imagine with the daylight saving, an hour shorter. How would that make you feel?
Not good.
Not good. And especially if it's a Monday, because you've had a nice stretch of weekend, and then suddenly you got to wake up. And they say most people that are prone to have heart attacks are usually on the first day of the week of work.
Wow. I do know too that I've heard in the past, and that you don't want to go have surgery on a Monday or a Friday
No.
because doctors are not, organized in their mind that it's, right back to work and ready
Absolutely.
to, do things the normal way. But in regards to daylight saving time, and I know we did not have, that wasn't something that just happened. There's a little bit of history behind it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of history, and I think it's all about preserving energy, so to speak. So I think in Germany, it was introduced as an energy-saving measure in 1916, and I believe the U.S. followed the method around 1918. But before that, there was no daylight saving. So everybody had that standard time every day, whether it was summer, winter, spring, it don't matter. Now,
What's coming to mind? It's preserving energy. And I'm all about energy. I mean, anybody knows me, like I'm all about energy. But energy outside of us or energy inside of us? Because if it took away an hour from me, it's taking my energy from inside of me, right?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
hence how
So
important, yeah.
it was more for, let's say, productivity purposes in the Industrial Revolution times.
Okay.
So I think that was the main point. Apart from that, another very important reason why sleeping on time is so beneficial. It's the best time that if you can sleep in the proper time and then reprogram your subconscious,
Oh,
your affirmations,
that's when it
because
happens.
that's when it happens. Because if you're not sleeping in the correct time. And if these melatonins don't get released, it does affect the neurotransmitters of the brain for the rewiring purposes. You
And
need
because
rest
you're
for that.
in what mode are you in? Because there's different stages of sleep, right?
Different
So
stages
you're
of
in,
sleep. But when you're tired, you're about to shut your eyes. And if it's right in the specific time between 10 to 2, let's say, that is the best time that you can go through your affirmations or recollect the thoughts for the day and the plans for tomorrow.
all positive thoughts. I want to remind you guys, all
All
positive
positive.
thoughts. Do not go to sleep with negative thoughts because you'll bring
Absolutely
the
not.
negative. You'll have the nightmares, I promise.
As,
But
as,
anyway,
as Andrew Carnegie said, he said, any idea that's held in the mind that's either feared or revered will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form that's available. So what do you want?
that's right.
Only focus on the good.
Only focus on the good. That's a beautiful way to end. And absolutely. So, final thoughts on sleep. You know, it's important. It definitely helps us with just living a better life, right? Good sleep, better life, happier, and energized. So, everyone, thank you for joining us today. Final words, Ahmed, real quick.
If you sleep on time and then you wake up early, you'd have great blessings and benefits coming your way, because the kind of energy and vitality that you will have within you, you can't have it any other way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Until next time, I'm your host, Giovanna Tardarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Ahmed. See you all next week.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next